What's up, everybody? Tricky Mick here, and we're just a few days after the presidential election, with Donald Trump coming in with 301 electoral votes to Harris's 226. So we're going to look at that real quick and have a discussion on what that means for crypto, trucking, and a little bit of the financial industry overall. So let's get right into it. As you can see here, Donald Trump won 301 to Harris's 226, and he won the popular vote as well, with 74.5 million to Harris's 70.7 million. And I think this is something that most people didn't think was going to happen. Even a lot of the YouTube reporters were not predicting a victory like this. We thought that he was probably going to win Pennsylvania, but nobody saw, for the vast majority, a victory this wide coming in for Donald Trump, especially in a few of the swing states like Michigan, my home state, where we would honestly expect Harris to have a landslide victory. And here we had Donald Trump winning with over 120,000 difference. So I'm really excited for things that are coming. I mean, no matter who you voted for, we're past the election, and that means that the uncertainty is over for the vast majority of crypto, trucking, in the overall finance industry. So let's get right into it by taking a look at the top proof of work coins. Now obviously we have Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Kaspa, and my personal favorite, Ethereum Classic, which I did a video on. You can check out.
Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum continued.
In the last 7 days, we've seen Bitcoin jump 10%, Dogecoin 36%, Bitcoin Cash 12.2%, Litecoin 7.3%, Kaspa 18.3%, and Ethereum Classic 17.9%. We're also seeing the 24-hour volumes start spiking as well, which is something I'm really excited to see, that people are actually trading and using cryptocurrencies instead of just holding them forever. I mean, that works well, but realistically, that's not what cryptocurrencies were designed for. And again, so we're looking at, Bitcoin jumping up 11.1% in the last 7 days, from 68,000 all the way up to 77,000 in the last 24 hours. Now, one of the biggest things I'm excited about here is the Bitcoin ETF. So Bitcoin ETFs see record 1.3 billion inflows on Trump when Fed rate cuts. And that's what we're going to be talking about here in a minute. All right, so BTC Exchange Traded Funds, ETFs, listed in the U.S. logged a record 1.38 billion in net inflows on Thursday, a day after Republican Donald Trump won the U.S. presidency. BlackRock's IBIT took on over 1.1 billion in net inflows, the most among all products, and its highest ever since going live in January. Cumulative net inflows across all products crossed 25 billion for the first time. None of the 12 ETFs showed any net outflows. And that's one of the biggest takeaways here, is they didn't have anything outflowing from these ETFs. So the entire industry is backing crypto with the ETFs now. Other ETFs logged 78 million in net inflows on renewed bullishness for the decentralized finance space following Trump's victory. ETH rose more than 10% on Thursday as expectations of pro-crypto policies and deregulation in the Trump regime boosted investor confidence in the asset. Bitcoin trades above 76,000 in Asian morning hours Friday, up nearly 10% over the past week. In line with analysts' expectations, the Federal Reserve cuts rates by 25 basis points on Thursday in a move that typically supports risk assets like Bitcoin by increasing liquidity and weakening the dollar. All right, so another thing we've seen here, the S&P 500 in the last 5 days is up almost 5% as well. So we're seeing a lot of positive things going on in the finance industry, in crypto, and I think for trucking, that's going to be a big positive as well. And that's because of the rate cuts. So let's first take a look at mortgage rates, because this is one of the big things that's going to affect Americans the most. All right, so in Q2 2024, we saw a high of 7%, and they're predicting that it's going to go as low as 5.5% in Q4 next year of 2025. And what does that really mean? All right, so we're going to take a quick look here at a regular mortgage. This is like an average house in the United States. Obviously, they go way above this, they go way below this, but this is just a good average American home. All right, so you're looking at a $300,000 house, $10,500, which is 3.5% down, loan term of 30 years with a 7% interest rate like earlier this year. That would give you a $2,701 total out of pocket. Now, if you had the 5.5%, you're looking at only $2,418, which is going to save you about $300 a month. Now, that's a lot of money for the average American. You know, you're talking $3,000 to $4,000 a year, depending on what your mortgage is, you know, bare minimum. And as this number climbs, so does the amount of money you're going to save. And so what this means for the trucking industry is, just like the rates for the mortgage industry, we're going to see the same thing happen for equipment loans and trucking. So instead of having 12%, you might be able to get a truck for 8%. And that's going to be able to allow the trucking industry to, you know, if you're buying 10 trucks, it's going to be like getting one of those for free. And large fleets have put a lot of their orders on hold this year because it's an election year. Inflation's been higher on the trucks. Some of the emissions laws are making it more difficult to have trucks. You know, if you have a large enough fleet, you're being forced to buy, you know, an EV truck like a Tesla or a Freightliner, e-Cascadia. And these things are going to be dialed back now that Donald Trump's administration is in. You know, we're going to see less of this. And really, it's the uncertainty ending that's going to cause this trucking industry with the sales to start booming. Companies that were putting orders on hold, thinking that they were going to have to put their fleet over to, you know, half EV in a couple of years, might start buying more diesels. And honestly, if you're looking at a diesel versus an EV versus a gas, you know, the difference between gas and diesel might be about $20,000 on a large commercial truck. But when you're talking EV versus that diesel truck, you know, you might be talking a $50,000 difference. You know, if you're buying one of these small Isuzus, you're looking at, you know, maybe 50 for the gas, you know, 70, 80 for the diesel, and well over 120,000 for the EVs, especially when they come with the bigger battery pack. So I think things are going to be looking good for the trucking industry. Things are going to be looking great for crypto. Things are going to be looking good for the finance industry, and I'm excited for what's going to be happening in 2025. I believe we're going to be real busy here where I work, and I think a lot of people are going to experience the same thing. Well, I'm Tricky Mick. Keep the shiny side up, and I will catch you guys next time.